A Strange Loop, it's closing. Let's talk about it. So yeah, obviously A Strange Loop is closing. As you guys know, I've been predicting that this show would close since like July, since August. I said it was in decline. It's destined to close. A Strange Loop has finally come to a close this January, and it's a shame that all these shows are closing. But I told you guys, the financial economy just cannot support that kind of show. And if this was before COVID, it probably would have ended sometime next year. Maybe not in January. Maybe it would have. But I think the pandemic had a lot to do with why the show didn't succeed in the way they were supposed to. But it was never going to be a hugely successful show based on the nature of the show. And I'm not going to explain like why I think it's closing, because I've done that in multiple videos, and you can go back and watch them, and you can just see the show and watch it and be like, I can see why this wouldn't appeal to like grandma and the family. So, you know, HadesTown, anyone can go and see that. Strange Loop, you know, it's much more age restricted, and some people might be offended by it when they really shouldn't be, and hopefully this does pave the way for more interesting, deeper, braver musicals. Is A Strange Loop ahead of its time? I feel like it is of its time, but it also is ahead of its time because I think we'll have more shows like A Strange Loop, and then in the future people will be like, wow, Strange Loop is what lit the fuse, and you know, we understand it now, we're ready for it now. Not that we're not ready for it right now, because I think we are, but I think the economic status and the ramifications of and positive repercussions that A Strange Loop will provide to further shows, I think will make people appreciate it more and come to respect it more and to be more well known. And you know, put it this way, if A Strange Loop should be the kind of musicals we see on Broadway all the time, and if that was the norm, these shows would succeed. But it's not, and we need to change that. And it really frustrates me because we're getting stuff like the Karate Kid musical and Back to the Future, and I'm just like, I'm very upset. But A Strange Loop did do better, going from 79% to 88%, going back into the $600,000 range. Beetlejuice, which is also closing, made $1 million, which is a huge increase from last week's 797, going from 60% to 82%. And so again, I think that, you know, these producers are smart to close the show because they're now going to be making money as opposed to losing money, because now people are like, oh, we have to go and see it. Wouldn't be surprised if it's a new trend of newer shows maybe having limited engagements or closing late when things are getting a little tricky, so they can make as much money as they can. I think company is what started that precedent, or the trend. Almost Famous started off solid with 90% capacity, 695,000. I don't think that show's gonna make it to the Tonys, but Funny Girl, 99% capacity, which was up from last week's 99.39, making over $1 million. HadesTown went up from 659 to 848, and that's because the ticket price went up by a lot, though the capacity went down from 98 to 97. But you know, the average ticket went from $91 to $118. I think if they keep the ticket prices up, the show will do well. But I do think HadesTown will be the next show to close. I don't think in January, since they have tickets on until May, but I think it will close next year for sure. Hamilton went back to making $2 million, going from 89% to 96%. Into the Woods continues to make $1 million, went from 75% to 78%. Moulin Rouge went from 97% to 99%, and doing solid numbers. Six went from 91% to 95%, and making $1 million. The Music Man went back to $3 million and went from 95% to 99%. And The Phantom went from 98% to 100%, having its best weeks in years. I don't know why shows did so well this week, because there were no huge discounts, there was no incentive. Maybe that's because everyone's like, oh no, shoot, Broadway is closing, and everyone's starting to see the shows, and they're recognizing that the audience might have a little bit more urgency to them, a little bit more oomph to seeing these shows. Anyways, that's the video. Make sure to like, sub, and comment. I'll see you in the next video. Peace, and A Strange Loop, you'll always be in my heart.